right, everybody, here we are, back again for episode 2 of the Purple Podcast. Welcome, and thank you for joining. And actually, at the beginning here, I'd also like to say thanks to all those who have shown some support to me. Sorry, I'm fumbling a little bit again. So, anyways, let's get into it here. We actually have some guests tonight. To my right, my girlfriend, Dana Bender. Say hello.
Hello.
All right, and then right across the table here, we have Connor Gerhardt.
Delighted to be here.
Thank you for coming. I'd like to have you back as well. We had some other people over here earlier today with some plans of, chatting it up. Very excited. Actually, when I mentioned it in a group message earlier this week, I said, who wants to come on? Who wants to get in the stew? And I don't know if any of you all know Will Leiter, but
oh, don't call him out.
We're name dropping. Oh.
We'll get him on here, I promise. So I'll name drop him an early introduction without him here. That doesn't feel right, but it'll pressure him now. Make sure to bully him if you see him on the streets. But we'll try to get him in here. But anyways, I do have two lovely people here with me. And we all have our wine glasses here tonight. We're going to do a little clinky real quick, okay? Clinky. All right, so this is more kind of what you can expect from the podcast kind of going forward. Like I said, the solos aren't exactly the most enjoyable form or what I really want to do. So it's nice to have y'all here. How y'all feeling?
I'm doing good.
You doing good? Guys, Dana actually had her last day working today at her job before she starts her new job on Monday. So congratulations, Dana.
Thank you. I'm excited about the new job.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And they gave her cupcakes on her way out. They wanted to see her leave, but anyways, we'll eat them, and regardless of the intention of the cupcakes. But and Connor, how are you doing over there?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to get this whole thing rolling.
I would like to add Connor's birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday, Connor.
Yeah, everyone let him know happy birthday. What's it like having a December birthday? I think maybe you're early enough in the month to where Christmas isn't as much of a factor, but I don't know. Like for most of my adult life, I guess, for the past, I'd say 8 years, basically, since we just got out of college. So all through high school and college, like my birthday was always centered around finals. So never really like been a birthday guy. This time of year has always stressed me out. Just with finals
tests.
Fucking suck.
Yeah. So this year I finally got to just kind of like, be relaxed on my birthday. And it was nice, man.
Yeah, you were talking about it a little bit earlier. What'd you do?
I got to hang out with my favorite people in the world, which are my niece and nephew. Got to go to the mega caverns where they put up the Christmas lights. And we drove through there with my sister and my mom. And after that, we went to Oxmoor Mall and sat with Santa.
Yeah,
told him what we wanted.
Oh, man.
And then we went to the toy store. So got plenty of ideas for what I can get Gracie for Christmas. Robbie isn't old enough to know what a toy is yet. So
yeah.
What do you get? You just get him like clothes?
Chew toy, the little teething toys, I guess, maybe. But he doesn't.
Like
he's not gonna appreciate it.
Not like Gracie will. Not like Gracie will.
What's she into? What do you just get her like?
So something that was drawing her eye a lot was literally a toy luggage case. Like I'm not kidding. She was dragging it around Macy's the whole time.
So she wants to be a little traveler.
Yeah.
She wants to go somewhere.
She just loves to pack and unpack things just over and over and then just walk in circles with it. She loves that. So, yeah, I'm definitely heading right back to that Macy's closer to Christmas. Snatching that right up.
Getting the luggage.
I had one of those little McDonald's, like, cashier toys.
Oh, yeah.
Why was
those
that a
are
toy?
hit. I had one of those, too.
Why was that a thing?
Did you have one of those? The cash register from
I
McDonald's?
mean, it's just funny to see
I don't
little
think I have
kids do shit that they're not really doing. You
yeah,
know?
they're not going to
Just
work
little
at the
toy
McDonald's
versions.
yet.
Just scanning food.
I had a little kitchen, too.
Gracie
With
has a
the
kitchen.
plastic toy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my brother probably tried to actually eat the plastic toys, but, you know.
Oh, every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Always someone.
They look better than real food.
It does. It's so presentable. And it's like shiny because it's plastic, so it just looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
What's up with this weather we're having?
I don't know. It was like 70 today.
That's what I mean. I feel bad for like the kids who are in school still because for whatever reason schools can only change the temperature in their building like twice a year. So it's cold in the summer, and as soon as they turn that AC on or the heat on for the winter, they can't turn it back, you know?
Layers.
So it's just hot in school.
It's just hot as fuck at school right now.
Layers in high school. That was the name
That's
of the
what
game.
I mean. You show up and then it's like you start freezing, and I bet they were happy. I bet they got excited, like damn, they got the heat on finally. And then this week came and just.
I don't think I ever
Smoked
went
them
a
out.
day in high school without wearing shorts under my sweatpants, just because I knew at some point I was going to take the sweatpants off.
You were gonna
and
be
need
warm.
need to be wearing shorts.
That's nice when I think you're a guy. I don't think girls can pull that off as much. I guess if you wear sweatpants, maybe you could.
See, we had a uniform, so I actually did wear. I think I wore something underneath my pants one time when it was just fucking freezing, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, oddly, a different scenario, but at my job today, the dock or the floor, it doesn't warm up as fast, so I didn't wear a coat, and it was still really cold, so I was freezing down on the floor. It wasn't 70 down there, because it's huge, you know.
Yeah.
It takes up so much space that it doesn't warm up within, like, a day. It takes a couple days.
Yeah, what was it like growing up in that Buffalo weather?
It snows a lot. I mean, that's the biggest difference, I think, is it's colder in a lot of other places, but because we're right by the lake, you just get dumped with snow.
What's the most snow you've ever had?
It was probably a couple of years ago. I'm probably wrong on this, but I think it was a couple of years ago. We had a storm, and we got, I think, 7 or 8 feet of snow.
Jesus Christ.
So we couldn't even like people couldn't get out of their houses, and we had to go like shovel out like our basically like our HVAC system. So we had to go make a path all the way to the back of our house, and it took like 2 days to actually do it. And we had a snowblower, but it broke, it jammed because of so much snow. So we had to shovel our whole driveway, shovel the whole path to the back to get the heat still going. It was bad.
That's like a Louisville kid's dream.
We were out of school.
That's what I mean.
But
dude.
I mean, here you guys would be out of school for probably how long? Like
A month.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
we were out of school for maybe like 2 weeks.
Okay, well that's still a long time.
Yeah, but I don't think it'd be. I mean, if that happened in like Texas, they'd be out of school forever. They don't get snow.
They
really.
they got nailed this past year.
With snow?
I think an ice storm.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like I think an ice storm just messed everything up. Do people like die when that shit happens?
Oh yeah.
They got to, right? Like,
I
wouldn't
mean,
it be terrible just not being able to get out of your house?
Yeah. I mean, Texas
or
is
get
probably not a
anything.
good, but like California, tropical weather, Hawaii, like if they got that would maybe shut down like the whole town.
They just don't get.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure like there were probably situations like old people who can't shovel and need help or something. I'm sure there were situations where people got.
Or just if your power goes out and you just freeze.
I mean, in Buffalo, everybody always has their like backup generators.
you
Everybody buys one just in case.
My dad's got a
backup.
Oh hell yeah. Jimmy's always strapped.
He's strapped up.
He tests it out like 4 times a year.
Yeah. I mean, in Buffalo, it's like if your neighbor doesn't have one, you're worried. You want to go buy them one.
You get to invite them in.
Yeah, and nobody really wants to do that. I mean, as nice as your neighbors are, you don't want to be living with them for 2 weeks.
That's the definition of like cabin fever. That's how people just get killed out of craziness.
Go crazy.
Well, anyways.
Well, all right. So we'll get into, I guess, what we had planned out to some extent. That being a weekend in sports, specifically the college football playoffs and the conference championships, and just kind of how everything can play out. And actually, me and Dana will be going to a game. I'm sorry, Connor.
Yeah.
He had prior obligations. He's going to a wedding, so he's not going to make it to the Cincinnati-Houston game at Nippert Stadium. Get out. Support your Bearcats.
Pump it up.
Go number 9. Pump it up.
I will say though that Connor's the kind of guy that's always there in spirit. You know,
of course.
He's quite the hype man. So although he won't be there physically, he'll be cheering him on at the wedding.
I'll tell you right now, after Leiter's performance earlier, I'm not stoked to. I'm not. How am I gonna pump it up with that fucking traitor? You know.
You're taking it too hard.
No, once you enter Nippert Stadium.
That's true, man.
You don't have a choice. You're gonna pump it up.
We see Daddy Desmond take it to the end zone.
I will say though, tonight Leiter came in looking for some Tums, so it's okay. Maybe he bailed tonight. We'll let him have it this time.
We'll let him have it, but
going forward, no
it's
excuses.
Becoming a pattern because actually I plan to bully him a little bit, and I promise you guys I love Leiter. He's beautiful person, but I bully him about going to the gym, and this has been an ongoing bit for me. It has to be months now, at least 2 to 3 months, where every day I go to the gym, and I don't go to the gym every day by any means, but every day I do. I always think of Leiter, and I say, man, I wish he was meeting me here, because originally when I first joined, I told Leiter, and he said, yeah, man, I need to get into the gym, and still hasn't. He said he was going to join that Monday and still hasn't. So I tell him every time, I said, you going to be there today? And I don't think he doesn't respond anymore. So I'm going to keep doing that as well. And hopefully he does. But this is becoming a pattern.
Oh, don't paint him like this bad guy.
As unproud as we may be of the rock person, Will Leiter, by the way, he works for a mining company. But anyways, let's just talk about how proud we are of Mr. Desmond Ritter.
Right.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Are you kidding me?
That's called a transition right there.
That was a transition.
I know, man. That's the thing, too. And that's what's so crazy. And I'm very stoked about going.
I mean, we should preface this as, we all know Desmond. We haven't explained that yet.
That's a great point. So, Desmond Ritter, the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bearcats, is one of our longtime good friends. Well, I guess Dana, she's from Buffalo. She's fairly new to the team, but she has met Desmond. And me and Connor have been friends with Desmond upwards of, how long would it be?
8 years?
8 years, probably. High school is when we became friends. So it's one of those things that's really cool seeing a person that you're so close to accomplish, sick shit.
On a national stage.
That's what I mean.
I see him on Disney Plus commercials, man.
We were just here after, we were just laying on the couch after getting home from work, and they're talking about, Cincinnati. I see his name go across the bottom, and the next 30 minutes, it's just his interview. He's just on ESPN. It's wild. It doesn't make any sense, and it's so weird because it almost feels somewhat normal now.
Yeah.
But it's so bizarre. People don't get to experience that shit. It is a very small percentage of people who ever get to see someone that close to them accomplish something and have that much kind of fame.
And I don't remember exactly, but you used to play with him at St. X.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you didn't play football, did you?
No, I ran.
No.
We went to a different school as well.
You ran. You played track ran track.
It's a way tougher sport. It's his
No,
sports
man, don't
punishment.
sell yourself
It's
short.
His sports punishment.
You're
Yeah.
an amazing
Was my
person. You're a
sport.
wonderful athlete. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah.
Never.
But so you played with him, so I mean that's got to be cool to see him.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
play with him in high school, and you probably I don't want to say never thought he would get that big because who knows, but
Well,
to see him go from playing high school as your QB to
It's
being
not,
on TV in an interview, that's got to be cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's not anything that's like. I mean, like, no, you don't expect it, but it's like, shit. I mean, it could happen, and that's kind of how it kind of fell out. It's like he's at Cincinnati, redshirted his freshman year, started his redshirt freshman year, and was like, damn, he's actually here. And they start winning. That team does so well, and like that's the craziest thing.
And then he gets freshman of the year.
Freshman of the year,
Yeah.
exactly. And just like how well that team has played as him as
That
the
whole
I mean,
class. The whole class.
exactly.
I mean, look at him.
Well, yeah, he's
mean-
gonna at the end of it all, he's gonna be one of the winningest quarterbacks in college football history
Ever.
I mean,
ever.
who can say
not just
that?
even the conference. Like,
no. I mean, he's up there with people like Peyton. I mean, that's crazy
Yeah.
to think. Like, but I mean, he did it. But
and it's wild. That's
And
what I
you
mean.
guys get to go see him play tomorrow.
I know. But I mean, you'll be there. I mean, we're expecting him
Oh, I'll
another
be watching. I'll be
transition
watching.
to go into the playoffs. So I mean, Connor will hopefully either be at
I'll
those
be at the
games
playoff
or
game for
watching or
I'll be screaming
That's
too.
the thing.
yeah. Because I mean, if he does,
I can't
we're-
wait to sit with the Summers again and
Yeah.
watch them.
Did you go to the
Picking
game we all
fights.
went to earlier? What game was that? The UCF game?
Yeah,
You go.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we were there, and like you just felt this energy behind the program. Like because Cincinnati, for one, like I mean they're not like a powerhouse football school. I don't think that's
Nope.
wild or outlandish to say that. So like this period of time is probably the best period of time they've had in their program's history.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I would
absolutely.
think
It's
for
actually
a
the highest they've
while.
ever been ranked.
I'd
Exactly.
like to think that it's gonna stand for a while. It might take some time for another team to
It's
come
just because it's a smaller team. They're not in like a Power 5 conference, which we'll get into later. But what this team has done, like with them there, like, and Desmond's the fucking face of it, you know?
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you just know, like, he's like, that's my actual friend. This is wild. And like, you feel this, like, as someone, like, I think everyone is selfish in their craziest ways, but to feel like proud, like so proud and happy for someone else, like that was such a great feeling. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
I don't think any of you guys are like selfish and jealous
but
in that
you know,
way.
like-
But it I mean, how could you not be proud?
Yeah.
That's one of like the highest goals you could reach. I mean, especially
No
in
doubt.
college
As an athlete.
football. I mean,
Oh yeah.
No doubt. No
and
doubt.
that's not even saying, if he, ends up going in the NFL, which I'm sure
I mean,
we'll
he's-
talk about later.
I
that-
mean, he's getting drafted. He's getting drafted.
Oh, yeah.
Where that's at, we don't know, but he's getting drafted, and that in itself is crazy.
Yeah. So I guess to get into the whole college football scheme.
So let's start looking at this. We have a pretty good slate of games. Always love conference championship week, and guess who never plays on conference championship week because they're not in the conference. Therefore, should really not get any say to the playoffs. That's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. But anyways, aside from that, we have kicking the day off. Baylor, Oklahoma State, number 9 and 5. Oklahoma State wins that game. They got a real good chance of making the playoffs because you got to look at that Alabama game. And Georgia's just looked fucking ridiculous all year long. Just crazy how well they've played all year long. And that, not many times is Alabama an underdog going into a game. And I don't know what the spread is, but I would imagine Georgia's the favorite.
Oh yeah. I think it's 6.5.
Yeah.
Then you got Utah State, San Diego State. No playoff implications. Maybe a fun game to watch around at 3 o'clock. I'm not sure anything about those teams, to be honest. Appalachian State, Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. Not watching those. But then we get into 4 p.m., and then we got 2 games slated there.
Yep.
That will be the SEC
The-
Championship.
The important games.
Those are big games. 2 huge games. You got Georgia, Alabama, and you got Houston and Cincy. And if Cincy wins, when Cincy wins, They control their own destiny. I think it would be honestly horrific if Cincinnati were to win tomorrow and then not make the playoffs. Like, who's jumping them? How can you not do it? I mean, you've had people on your ass, the committee, about the Power Five. Any team out of the Power Five has no shot, essentially. And it's the truth, because you have to do everything right. And it's not even a one season long game. Like Cincinnati's road to the playoffs did not start at the beginning of the season. Like, it's been going on, like, their performance in previous seasons has everything to do with them being in the playoffs right now. They would have no shot. Even if they went undefeated and they had a 6-6 record, or even like an 8-3 or some shit. I don't know. Like, they just wouldn't, because they wouldn't get the respect that they absolutely deserve. So then at 8 p.m., Michigan, Iowa. That's a big one as well. I don't know what I think there. You guys want to go through some picks? I'm going to look at the bigger games. I'm not going to do any of like the Utah State or San Diego State. So first game today, Baylor, Oklahoma State. Who you taking in that one, Connor?
I think Baylor is going to win that. I think they're hot right now. I don't know. What are the last, like, 4 games?
Let's see here.
Baylor's coach, too. He's a young guy.
I mean, I think Baylor's hot, and who did they beat a couple weeks ago?
They beat Oklahoma pretty bad, I think.
Yeah, so I think that has something to do with it, but also Oklahoma State went out and also beat Oklahoma. That's right. I mean, hard to say. I think I would go with Baylor too. I don't have much opinion on the young coach, but if I had to pick, I guess that would be mine. But again, we can look at the last 4 games or so. And
then again, OK State, Mike Gundy wrestles his own players.
He's a created person, I think. I think he has the best hair in the world.
Yeah.
Especially, no doubt for a coach. But unbelievable hair. It fits the personality of the Cowboys, the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Big fan of them. I'm going to take them tomorrow, just because I think it'd be interesting to see them in the playoffs. Baylor as well, but I don't think Baylor gets in if they win regardless.
No, if Baylor wins, there's no big.
That's what I mean. So I think Oklahoma State, they win. I think they're going to make it in, barring that, or having Georgia beat Alabama, because I don't think you can put a 2-loss team in the playoffs without a conference championship. And Bama would be a 2-loss team with no conference championship. So I think they would be out on that one. So then Georgia, Alabama. I'm taking Georgia, just because honestly, if Alabama wins, that's gonna suck too.
Yeah, if Alabama can pull that off, that means
Bama
and Georgia are in.
That's what I mean. That's
and
2
then
spots.
If Michigan wins, they're in, obviously.
Right.
And then Oklahoma State wins, they very well could.
You think they could jump?
That's the only scenario I see Cincy being out, but
I mean,
I don't think that's a likely scenario at the same time.
That's a lot of things that has to happen.
I think Michigan, Oklahoma State, or Alabama will lose. There's no way all 3 of those teams win.
And I'll go back to what Austin said, about UC. They control their own destiny. So they got to do whatever they can do. I mean, you can't say what everybody else is, but that's 3 different games that have to end up in a certain way. I just think that's kind of...
And then it's still up to the committee.
Yeah. And I just don't see that being the only factors that take them out.
So I think absolutely. Cincinnati wins. I think they're in. They lose, they're out, period. So they control their own destiny. Whatever they do tomorrow is, I think, how it's going to end up.
And I think I'm going to pick Georgia. I mean, they've just been good, insane all year. I mean, you just don't see anybody touching them. They're just on fire. I don't see that going south. And if it does...
It's going to be Cincinnati.
I'm not a Roll Tide fan, but good for Bama. But I see Georgia taking that one.
No, it's gonna be Georgia beating Bama, 1 seed. Cincinnati is the 4 seed. We're heading down.
You think they're 4 regardless of anything?
Regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I don't see them at this point because
what if Bama loses? I don't know.
If Bama loses, I think they're out. But I mean, I guess you would have to have if Bama loses, Bama's out. I think if they lose, they're out. They have to win to be in. Oklahoma State, if they were to lose, that's when you start bringing in a team like Notre Dame, who will make some points about that.
But also, I think you have to go back to what you said. Like Cincinnati's not in that top 5, that SEC.
Power 5.
Power
SEC,
5, sorry.
Big 12, Big 10.
They're not in that Power 5, so I think it goes back to you're looking at the last couple seasons. I mean, does that leave them at 4th, or does the committee say, okay, if we're looking at this season alone, they won their game, they'll move up? I think there's a lot riding on Cincy in that way to just move them up just because they win and go undefeated this season.
So I think... So if Oklahoma State were to win and Alabama loses, I think Oklahoma State jumps them. I think they go to 3.
Huh.
Just as a Big 12 champion. I think
Power 5 champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Baylor's a good team too. So the last game, Michigan, Iowa, I think that's going to be... That's a toss-up.
I think that's a classic Michigan choke job.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
They finally beat Ohio State. It would be just Michigan of them to lose that game.
Yeah.
Just to get blown
they're
out.
Right now.
I can see them just
now.
getting blown out.
I think, too, though, Iowa's a complete underdog to me. I don't know about you guys. I think it's more of a heart thing. I think it goes back to, do they have it in them? And I think if they want it that bad, not that they're going to get in, but to knock somebody out might be kind of cool.
Well, I mean, they're going to play the hardest, of course. I think it'll be like a Rose Bowl. It's for the Rose Bowl, right? They'll go to the Rose Bowl if they win.
Who's that? Iowa?
Isn't it the Big Ten and the Pac-12 in the Rose Bowl normally? I think that. Yeah. So the winner of that Rose Bowl, that's a big game. That's probably the best game you can play that's not in the playoffs.
Playing
just
Utah.
The Rose Bowl, it's just historic. Oh, yeah, Utah just absolutely throttled Oregon again. The score of that game's 38-10. Yeah. It's final. Poor showing from the Ducks to end the year. No doubt a huge disappointment for them, considering they were in the playoffs before they got absolutely wrecked by Utah the first time. And this just added insult to injury. You know, you think they would have learned a couple things. They didn't. They got smacked again.
Not to say they didn't learn anything, but...
Well, they lost by a large margin, and Utah probably covered the spread by a large margin, too.
Yeah.
It was 3 again.
It was 3?
It was 3 again.
Oh, my God.
They did it twice.
Beat it by 28.
Look what they did to my boy.
That's bad.
Yeah, that was rough.
So Michigan, Iowa, it'd be cool for Michigan, but I don't really like Harbaugh that much.
Dude, I do.
He's all right.
I was happy he finally beat Ohio State.
Yes, because I don't fuck with Ohio State at all. You know?
I think unless you, go to Ohio State, or should I say the Ohio State, or you grew up there.
That's a good one, wasn't it? Look at you.
Look at you go.
Or you grew up there, or just you have family who likes Ohio State, grew up liking Ohio State. People don't like Ohio State. I mean, I went to school in Cleveland. Fair. I don't like Ohio State. I mean, they're a hard team to like.
Villain school.
Yeah.
Sure.
It would be cool to see Michigan in there over a team that we see there every year. You know, like, I don't want to see Ohio State. I don't want to see Bama, to be honest. I mean, Bama's good because they're just good at football.
I mean, I feel like growing up,
you can't get them out.
When I was growing up, those are the teams you see: the Ohio States, Alabama, Georgia's been consistent. You know, recently. You see those teams all the time. You want to
Clemson, where'd they go?
Clemson,
goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see different teams. You want to fall off. You want to set a different tone and like make other teams like. UC, and not to,
Exactly.
be bragging, but like you want to see other teams do well and see that they can be up there with the big dogs, and I think
At
that's
least give
really
them a
cool.
chance to play, and that's why the playoffs, it will get expanded. It has to, just for college football, because really it's terrible to see the same teams in a 4-game playoff or like 4-team playoff. It's awful. Like, let's get an 8-team playoff because you make things interesting for those teams that they're never going to be a top 4 school ever. Mm-hmm. But like even Kentucky, like they had an outside shot to be in the playoffs if it's an 8-team playoff.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say
or
that.
a 10-team playoff. Outside shot.
Also,
they really.
Also, side note,
but like Louisville's best season when they beat Florida in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
They would be in the play like an 8-team playoff. Like a Louisville team. Like Louisville's never going to be in the playoffs, and it's just like you got to do that for the programs to feel like they can actually compete for the highest.
Louisville. Honestly, I'd say in the next few years, once they obviously get Jeff Brom and Brian Brom at the helm.
So what's going on there with Jeff Brom?
Well, first of all, what I was going to say is winning the ACC is much easier than winning the SEC. So Louisville honestly, if you look at it like from an outside point of view, they have a much easier chance of going to the playoff than Kentucky ever will.
I think that's very valid. Yep.
So, but yeah, no, we might have to have a whole different podcast for what's going on. Louisville. I mean, it's just fucking atrocious.
Yep. All that,
makes me sick.
All the shadiness of those sports athletics programs there, you never know what's going on.
I mean, also, too, you brought up UK. I don't think your listeners are totally aware you went to UK. Or most of your guy friends went to UK.
I said it in the first episode. Yeah.
Yeah, but most of your guy friends went there, too. So that's important to note,
Yeah.
Some of the guys went to Louisville. And I'm not
Only the weirdies.
I'm not here or there. I just moved to Louisville. I don't have a team yet, but so
you're leaning towards the Cars though. You live in Louisville. You have to be a Louisville fan.
I mean, it's tough though. I mean, I feel like when you don't live somewhere and you don't grow up with it, like I just got to go to games, and UK's game was against, who did we go against?
It was LSU.
Yeah, we went to the LSU. Yeah. Like a lot of people there.
It wasn't a great game.
We went to like a nice like Louisville game too, and it was fun. It's
Central
just
Florida game?
It's not. Was it that one?
That game was
It
electric.
was hype.
That was
I mean,
insane.
the ending of that game was crazy.
Yeah, that
but
was so fun.
They're two totally different games. You go to a place where every seat is packed and everybody's chatting and high-fiving, but you also go to a Louisville game where it's like it's down to the wire and you don't expect it, and that's fun too. So it's hard to pick when you don't.
It was a better game, absolutely.
I mean, it's hard to pick when you don't live
Different,
somewhere.
I think the problem was different expectations on the season. If you had seen a Louisville game with the expectations we had when we had Lamar, I think you'd think a lot differently about the difference between a Kentucky game and a Louisville football game.
I will say, I grew up watching college football. My dad's a football fan in general, college, NFL.
I feel like you were more pro, though. You didn't really...
I mean, we are, but my dad, likes to flip channels. So we generally, especially on Saturdays when you don't have a lot of pro games, you tend to watch the college games. So, I mean, we grew up watching Lamar. And that's cool. And, I mean, my dad's best friend is a Ravens fan now. So
nice.
Loves Lamar. So we watched a lot of that.
Lamar's
just because,
a likable guy.
I mean, especially his senior year, not that you could have predicted where he went, but I think most people kind of thought maybe he was going there. So we watched him a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, big question here. Do we get the first defensive Heisman since Charles Woodson? I think it's the year that's open for it.
Jordan Davis?
No. Aiden Hutchinson. Isn't that the first name, Aiden Hutchinson?
Oh.
The DN from Michigan? You don't think?
No.
Dude, you think...
Let's hear... I want to hear Connor's pick on this.
It'll be Bryce Young.
Yeah, but think about this.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
or Matt Corral. It'll be one of those three.
I think at this point...
or Kenneth Walker. What? No way. No shot.
I think at this point it would be so cool and so different to have that be the case. But for how many years at this point has it been?
I think it's 98. I don't know. It was maybe 98.
I mean, not to say that it's, pattern, but especially when there are so many QBs that are putting up great numbers, and they're the face of the program. I mean,
It's completely different. Yeah, no doubt. He is an underdog in it. But think about it. We're going into these games tomorrow. Who's playing? Bryce Young's playing Georgia. If he
That's a moment.
Exactly. If he wins that game, puts him in the playoffs, he's the Heisman winner, runaway, no doubt. No doubt in my mind. But if he gets shat on or something, like plays a terrible game, an Alabama team that didn't even go to the playoffs, you think that's the Heisman winner? Like, I think that's against him because team success comes into it. It definitely does. Sure. It plays a role. C.J. Stroud, Ohio State, not in the Big Ten championship.
That's true.
Doesn't even get to play. Matt Corral, he's not playing anything. Kenny Pickett for Pitt. I mean, you think the fourth best quarterback on that list?
Maybe Kenneth Walker.
But Aiden, but he's not playing either.
But you got to think about Heisman moments, man.
Aiden Hutchinson, he's got one more shot against Iowa, man. There's
Kenneth
an outside
Walker
shot.
had like 5 touchdowns in that Michigan game. He beat them.
Yeah. I mean,
he's insane. He's nasty. He should definitely win. That's I think.
I can agree with that. Bryce Young's numbers are absurd, though. Like 3,900 yards passing, 40 touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, yes, if he wins that game or even has a good performance, mediocre probably even, I think he wins it. But outside shot, Aiden Hutchinson would be really cool. I would love to see him do well. So, in that case, I'll take Michigan in the playoffs. So, my playoffs right now, I'm going Georgia, Michigan, OK State, and Cincy.
Oh.
That's what I'm going to go with.
All right.
That's a fun playoff.
I think Bama pulls it off, actually.
Yeah?
I think they do.
All right. I'd love to see the game.
I mean, has Georgia played like an electric offense yet?
The Cats.
No.
We had,
I think Bama might. I mean, I think it also it helps the SEC if 2 teams make it. So the only reason I think Georgia should really try to beat them now is so they don't have to play them again in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, look how bad Alabama's offense played against Auburn, though. Horrible. They lost their star receiver early to a terrible targeting. I guess it wasn't a bad targeting call.
Mechie didn't play?
No. The other guy, is his name Williamson?
I don't know.
Something.
I haven't watched very much Alabama football this year, honestly.
So what were your picks? I'm sorry. Repeat those again.
I went with Georgia, Michigan, OK State, and Cincy. Yeah, Jameson Williamson. He had a targeting on a punt. He was playing punt defense.
Also, just to cut in here, if the listeners are hearing some background noise, we do have a dog in the house.
He's hanging out with us. His name's Walker. He's a German Shepherd Husky mix, and he's a very good dog. He's a goofy one, but he's a great dog.
He is a good dog. He's been bad a little bit lately, but we're gonna look aside from that. He's good most of the time.
We won't go into that.
But if you're hearing clinking or aside from the wine glasses, he's walking on the floor, our hardwood floors. So he makes a little noise here and there. Might hear him groan once in a while.
Yeah. Acts like he groans like he has a job or something, like he's been putting in
work all day.
40 plus hours a week, He takes naps like he's
but the truth of the matter
he doesn't even pay rent.
He lives here rent free.
He lives here rent free too.
You guys are both just right on the money with that.
Yeah. Not usually. I mean, we're usually on the same page, but we don't necessarily talk the same or have the same vocabulary.
That's funny.
Austin's a journalism minor.
That's right. I'm a journalism minor, as you can tell from this podcast.
I am not, so I don't have the
podcast.
vocabulary necessarily that Austin does.
So go on with your 4, Connor. You got Alabama
4?
winning.
Yeah, so Georgia, Bama, Cincy, and I think Michigan loses in OK State, you'd say.
OK State. All right.
Yep.
Dana, who you going with?
I think Iowa has it in them, so I'm going to go with Connor's picks as well. I'm going to go
Nice.
Georgia, Alabama.
I might have contradicted myself. I think earlier I said Baylor was going to win, but I actually do think Oklahoma State wins now.
Yeah.
Thank you for cleaning that up, Connor.
Welcome.
That's a good point. That's a good callback. I didn't remember that.
So I'm going to go with Connor's picks as well.
Okay, but let's think about this, Dana. So you're taking Alabama over Georgia?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think Georgia is the top dog, but I think
She also picked Georgia earlier.
I did. I will also, go back to my previous statement. I did say Georgia. They have been on top the whole season, but like I said before as well, I'm a big fan of, so to speak, the underdog. Not to say that Alabama is, but I'd like to see it.
We like sports, but we're not professionals, is what we're saying. So
Not yet.
not yet. Good point. Good point.
Oh, we're always learning.
So you're going Alabama over Georgia, so you got them both in, and then so you're okay. You got to pick between Oklahoma State and Baylor.
I mean, at that point, I don't know. I mean, I am not as
Want to flip a coin?
big of a sports person, so this is not
Just
necessary.
take one. You like the Bears or the Cowboys?
I think I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I think I'm more of a Cowboys person.
So we're seeing Georgia,
But
Bama.
side note, Bears. I do like the Bearcats. That's a totally different.
Different species.
Yes, totally different species. But if I'm going Bears or Cats, we're going Bears, or Bears or Cowboys. Sorry, I fumbled on my words there.
There it is.
Bears or Cowboys. I'm Bearcat, not Bears.
Okay, so I talked about Notre Dame briefly earlier, and I'll get into it a little more.
I think Austin feels more passionately about the Notre Dame topic. I guess I can't speak for Connor here, but Austin, I think, has a little bit to say about Notre Dame in this playoff run.
Well, it's just, you got to think of this scenario. That, say Cincinnati loses. Say Georgia wins, so Alabama's out. Say Michigan loses, so they're out. And Oklahoma State wins or something like that. Do we think Notre Dame, a team who lost to Cincinnati at home, gets rewarded for not playing a conference championship game and jump Cincy, who has to play a conference championship game, and that would be their one loss if they were to lose? Do we think a one-loss Notre Dame team to Cincinnati, a Notre Dame team who doesn't play a conference championship, I don't know why. Well, I guess because they're an independent and there's TV.
I mean, you're asking
agreements
me if
and
I
everything.
think
That's
that.
just pure chaos.
If you think I think
that scenario is just pure chaos.
Isn't that just baloney,
That's like
though?
all underdogs winning.
You're asking
Exactly.
if I think
Or
that,
except for
no, but based on the media and what we watched earlier today, it seems like a lot of people think that if for some reason Cincinnati lost, Notre Dame's jumping it.
Yeah, no.
It
If
seems
Cincinnati
like-
loses, they're out.
That's what I
they're
mean.
done.
But if Cincinnati loses, like, if
The
one
other,
of those,
the
Notre
other,
Dame's going to get in if Cincinnati loses.
the other problem is
That's
Cincinnati.
ridiculous.
It can't happen.
Cincinnati beat Notre Dame
It's not going to happen.
early
You're
on
right.
in the
It's
season.
definitely not going to happen.
But they beat Notre Dame early in the season.
Yeah, but
And that plays a factor as well.
But I'll
That's
tell
a
you-
problem with, I mean, I'm not going to say the problem, but when you look at the committee, they take every little thing into account That's a factor. That was early on in the season,
Yeah.
and since he was
and you
hot.
know what the biggest factor they have is if you're not a Power 5 team, your schedule's not good enough. You have to win every single game. Like that is like their basically number one stance. Like,
I know.
Never would there ever be a non-Power
Notre
5
Dame-
team make it with a loss. It would never happen.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm not a sports person.
Unless you're Notre Dame and you're an independent
Yeah.
and don't play a conference championship game.
So
because
I
you're
guess
a pussy.
explain, because I don't know. So explain, I guess, maybe for the viewers. What do you mean independent? Like I don't.
So like they're just not in a conference.
Okay, but
So they don't play a conference championship. They play one less game, and they also don't play. They play in the ACC essentially.
They pick whoever they want to play. They don't have to play specific teams.
so I mean, but that's something in the conference. They scrutinize. I mean, how long do you think they probably
would
sit
not-
and scrutinize these games and decide who goes and doesn't
I
go?
can guarantee you everything. They would not put Cincinnati in if they lost,
No shot.
and they would put Notre
I'm not
Dame.
saying that. I'm saying do they put in account that Notre Dame got beat by Cincy, who is in the top 4
I mean,
up
that's why
until
they're-
possibly
Exactly.
they lost.
But exactly.
And then
that's-
are they going to
That's
say?
what they'll say. Their only loss was to a top 4 team.
I mean, that's hard to say, but it was early on in the season. Cincinnati
Cincy
was
dominated
hot.
them. It doesn't matter, you know. Cincinnati did everything they had to this season, besides blowing out teams. Like they won every single game. I don't
Yeah.
want to hear it. And they won every game last year too, until the game against Georgia, which they should have won. Besides a little time management flaw and a 50-plus yard
but
kick. You
are
know?
they gonna
They
put
should have
that-
beat the Georgia team who has dominated everyone this year.
Are they going to put that into account too? Like if we're
No,
going,
they won't.
No.
They're not a Power 5
but
team.
you
They're-
had talked about earlier, just to bring this back up, that they are looking at previous seasons, and
Right.
they went
Well,
toe to
That's the
toe
only
with Georgia.
that's the only
kind
reason
of
they're 4
like-
right now is what I'm saying.
Oh,
If they were to lose it, if they were to lose a game, I mean, look at Houston. Houston's a non-Power 5 team who has lost one game and they're ranked 21st.
okay.
Like, it's just how it goes. Like,
Yeah.
they would never consider it.
And back to, there needs to be an expansion of the playoffs.
There needs to be
Who
an
did
expansion.
Houston lose to?
They lost the first game of the year. I don't know who to. I was hearing it earlier. Let's see here.
I like their coach, Daniel Holgerson.
Don't know him.
He's a beast. He used to be at West Virginia when Louisville used to play him all the time.
Little connection there.
For the blackout games. I remember those as a kid.
Who did they lose to?
Trying to find the schedule real quick here. They lost to Texas Tech. So
Oof. Yikes.
Yeah,
That team.
that's not.
sucks.
I don't know if that's the one you want to lose to.
No, they are bad.
Yeah.
They're bad at football.
what was their record?
Texas Tech.
Oh, they got beat 70-35 by Texas. So that's all I got to see about that because
Yeah,
Texas is
Texas,
most
Texas.
certainly not back. And will Texas ever be back? Unanswerable question.
Well, that might be a
Really?
whole.
We don't know the future.
That might be a whole nother podcast. That might be an analysis of.
Yeah, we'll save that for when Matthew McConaughey comes on. Anyways, guys, I think it's been fun. I think we've gone over a lot. We're pushing 50 minutes. We didn't get to an hour, but we could if we really needed to, but we'll keep it to 48, 50 minutes. So I'll let my friends here sign off first. Go ahead.
All right, this is Dana Bender. I'm gonna sign off for the night. It's approximately 12:28,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go to bed soon.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. You're always welcome, Connor. Always come back. And guys, thank you for listening. This is Austin Isaac, your host. Peace.